great to be back. Hello people of the internet and my fizzies, and welcome to a brand new special video I have up for you today. So to start things off, yes, I'm still alive. I mean, I'm dead on the inside, but I'm still alive, so that's all that matters. So you might be wondering where I've been these past couple of months. Well, it's just life, really, just like getting in the way. But all jokes aside, I just had a lot of things going on in my life. I had college life, I'm getting a job, you know, the semester just ended. I have a lot of things on my plate right now. But I'm so great to be back on YouTube for the summer, and hopefully the next semester, we'll see.
Lit.
But today I wanted to make a video that I've been thinking about making for quite a while, and that is my first year experience in college, and specifically more at Texas Christian University. So in this video, I really wanted to talk about how different college life is compared to high school. And let me tell you, it is very, very different. So I guess to start things off, I have to take you guys all the way back to August of 2017. Do you even remember 2017? I forgot that year. You know, back in the day when I was just a young, innocent freshman, and now I'm 20, and I'm already having a quarter life crisis. So before I was gonna start my life at college, I had really no idea what to expect. I didn't know what my roommates were going to be like. I didn't know how the classes were gonna be, the level of difficulty. There were just a lot of questions with no answers whatsoever. But just like a lot of things in life, you just kind of have to go through it and experience it yourself to answer those questions. And I'm gonna try to save you that trouble and try to answer some of them right now. So just for some background information, I am currently an accounting major, don't judge me. So with that being said, I had to take a lot of required classes that semester, and I actually ended up taking 6 classes with a total of 16 hours. As for my dorm situation, I was roomed with 2 other people in this one small freaking room. It just wasn't anything. It was like a closet. And on top of it, it was a forced triple, meaning that I was forced to be roomed with 2 other people, whereas the room itself was only meant for 2 people. What annoyed me the most about this is the fact that some people had their own rooms. Meanwhile, I was forced to room with 2 people, even though it was only meant for one other person. And I just, why? Just like, why me?
Haha, it's
But enough of that background information. Now let's get to some advice. I think the first thing to start off with is the difference between teachers and professors. Professors, they will not care if you don't show up to class. At least in my experience, teachers will be on your back if you're ever late to class, and they will get super annoyed. Whereas to professors, they don't usually even notice, or they just simply don't care. With that being said, my biggest point of advice is to not miss classes. I don't care how late you stayed up last night and decide to party over with your friends, Jessica. But in all seriousness, it's really important to go to every single class, in my opinion, even if it's like a blow-off class, because you just don't want to miss anything. On top of that, it actually shows the professor that you actually care about the class and you actually want to learn. And I'm just saying, at the end of the semester, if you had like an 88 and you were not a really ambitious student, he's not, or he is definitely not going to bump up that grade. But if you show that you really care, most professors will actually be lenient with you and give you that 90. I've had a lot of stories where I almost missed class, and there was one time that I actually did miss a class because I legitimately forgot I had it that day. And this was my second week at college. I completely forgot I had this one class that's only on Wednesdays, and I believe it was like at 10 a.m. or something. I remember I was sitting in the lunch cafeteria and I was just eating my food, and then I dropped my fork just drastically, just like I was in some sort of movie, and I realized that I just missed my class. I was super frantic and I had no clue what to do, and I decided to just email the professor, and she was completely fine with it. Speaking of the school cafeteria, let's talk a little bit about that. If you thought high school cafeteria was bad, I mean, you're right, but hear me out. The college cafeteria is not all that much better. And I'm not just specifically talking about TCU, because all my friends that I do know that are in college, they say that their school cafeteria sucks, and I have yet to find somebody that actually likes it. And it makes sense. It's not really meant to be good, I don't think. It's meant to be like something that you get at like the last minute because you don't have food and you don't have any coins to get anything. But let me just talk about the TCU cafeteria. I will say this, they definitely did improve the second semester, but honestly, that isn't saying all that much. And the reason why I'm saying this so harshly is because my roommate specifically got food poisoning from the school cafeteria. Do you want to know what my roommate got sick from? Cocoa Puffs. That's right, some stale Cocoa Puffs. So if I had any advice, stay away from the cafeteria as much as possible. Of course, like most students, you probably won't be able to avoid it because, you know, the cafeteria is much cheaper than, you know, going out to eat every day. But I guess the best next alternative is to just like heat up some ramen or chicken noodle soup. And if you have a kitchen, that's even better. You can just cook your own food, unless you're me and you have no clue how to cook. I mean, I can boil water. Now to get a little bit more serious, I think one of the biggest things that are so trivial to high school students when they go into college is really knowing like how to study or really manage their time in college. One of the biggest obvious differences between high school and college is the fact that you're able to have so much control of your schedule. You can decide whether to not to go to class or not. You can decide when to eat. You can decide when to, you know, want to take a break, when to study. You have pretty much almost absolutely total control over your life. But of course, the consequences of that is that you actually have to know how to manage time by yourself. And I'm talking about the entire day. There are some people that have become super dependent on pre-managed schedules because they have been programmed that way in high school. And as a result, they don't really know how to manage their own time, or at least effectively. My only really advice to that is that you really just simply need experience. When I first got into college, it was mayhem. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue how to really do that much, honestly. It took a good month until I was starting to get the hang of things and start to like actually have like a structured schedule. But before that, it was really all over the place trying to figure out a bunch of different things and seeing which one works and which one doesn't. The really best thing you can do is just try a bunch of different things until you get something right and you feel comfortable. I guess another big thing that you probably don't really know at this point if you're still a high school student is that the purpose of college. I'm still trying to figure it out myself because everybody has their own definition, but personally I see it as a time of growth to figure out what I want to do, who I am as a person. It's really just a time to figure out things that you really haven't seen the light of day. For example, you may have no clue what you want to major in, and that's totally fine. I'm a really weird guy. I've wanted to know what I wanted to major in ever since I was like in 8th grade, and that is definitely unusual. I just really had a passion for accounting personally, and sometimes you may not figure out everything you want to, but that's kind of part of life, honestly. On that deep note, I also want to add the importance of trying to join like a club or something. Extracurricular activities, just like in high school, are really important in college as well. Not only are they a great way to actually have a social life and actually discover new people around campus, but it's also a great time to actually get out of those books, away from them, and to do something that you love. So at my first year, I only decided to join one club, and that was the tennis club, and the reason is because I really like tennis and I really enjoyed it back in high school. But it's also really a great way to actually get a social life of your own. If you're like me, who's a bit kind of shy and doesn't really open up to people so much, it's really a great way to actually get to know a small group of people that have similar interests to yours, and you're able to actually connect to them, and then you're able to possibly form some sort of friendship. That note, I want to keep it with y'all real quick, which is something that you probably will experience freshman year. For some people, it's super easy to really just make friends just right off the spot, whether it's meeting them from class or extracurricular activities. However, there's a good majority of students who definitely don't experience that freshman year. And it just so happens I turned out to be one of those people. My first year, I didn't really make a lot of friends. The only friends that I did know were the people back in high school, and maybe I made like a couple friends outside of that. And as time went on, I just started spending less time with my high school friends. And as a result, the only way that I could compensate for that is to study more and more. And with that being said, let me just say how wrong of a decision I have made. If your social life isn't together just like mine was, do not try to fill it up with academic goals. Like I said earlier, part of college is managing your time. That also means trying to manage both your social life and your academic life. If you have imbalance, whether it be more social or more academic, you're gonna have a bad time. The good point of college is to actually go to learn and to really pursue your major, but at the same time, you're trying to figure out who you are as a person. And you can't really do that exactly if you're spending yourself behind the books the entire time. The only way to actually figure out who you are as a person is to place yourself in uncomfortable situations. So if you do have an imbalance between your academics and your social life, don't worry about it. And by not worrying about it, I mean, of course, you can try to do things to try to accommodate for it. But what I'm trying to say is it's simply okay if that's happening. It's something that you will most likely experience in college. And I think it's actually really important because it will really help you grow as a person as well. I know this video kind of took a serious route, but it's just really something important I think that a lot of high school students need to hear, because just coming from the perspective of somebody that just got out of high school, and I feel like I didn't really know this knowledge beforehand, and I felt like it would have been really great if I did know prior to actually going to college. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope some of my advice helped you, and if not, I am so sorry, and I'm hoping maybe sophomore year I'll actually have some better advice. I hope you can like, favorite, subscribe, and become a FIZZY today, and I will see you guys in the next video of whatever I post. Bye guys!